This is the story of Corona, the male kestrel, and the two females Maris and Stella, who settled in a Swiss monastery in March 2020 to raise their offspring. Kestrels do not build nests, they take over nests from other birds or other simple nesting possibilities. The nesting site must be in an elevated position. Corona can be easily distinguished from the females by its gray head. The way to a woman's heart goes through her stomach. Corona has to bring his beloved some mice so that he can please her. He tries very hard to please Maris. Kestrels actually live monogamous and have the same mate every year over and over again. During the mating season, in May, the kestrels mate several times a day. Mating continues even after the female has laid her first eggs. The female lays 3 to 6 eggs. Maris laid 5 eggs in the southern nesting box, which hatched after a month. Now he has a little time for some relaxation and wellness. While Maris is hatching the eggs, Corona is responsible to feed her. He brings her food and takes over the breeding for a short time. On the daily menu, mice, grasshoppers, and lizards. At the end of May, after almost a month, the first kestrel chicks hatch. While Corona provides food to his family, Maris feeds the prey to the little ones. 4 young hatched out of the 5 eggs. Unfortunately, Maris disappears after a short time, and Corona has to take care of the little ones all by himself. However, since the little ones cannot yet eat the mice themselves, the mice pile up in the nesting box. There is someone looking out of the nesting box. And there is 2 more. May I introduce to you Bob, Kevin and Stuart. Unfortunately, one chick did not survive the first days. Now Corona has to bring in as much food as possible. The chicks are hungry and grow quickly. He flies to the nesting box several times an hour. It depends on hunting skills and success, how many of his children will survive. Who is this? This female is not Maris, it is Stella, Corona's second love. While Corona is providing the 3 little ones with food, Stella is hatching her eggs in another nesting box. But as Maris is missing, Corona takes care of the chicks that have already hatched. But he does not manage to take care of the brooding Stella at the same time. But because she doesn't have time to hunt extensively, she flies over to the other nesting box and steals the little ones' food. The 3 chicks try to fight back, but they do not dare to successfully stand their ground. Corona now has to take care not only of 3, but of 4. About 20 days after hatching, Bob, Kevin and Stuart practice their wings. They are about to fly out very soon. They can also make jumps on top of the nesting box. Now they are already as big as their parents. Even the fuzz of the chicks is almost gone, the young can hardly be distinguished from the female. You can only distinguish them by the yellow eye rims and the yellow beak base of the female. In their first year, kestrel males and females cannot yet be distinguished either. Only after the first change of plumage, the molt, in the next summer, the male get the typical gray head. Approximately 30 days after hatching, and with a lot of courage, the youngsters make their first attempts to fly. The takeoffs and the flight work out quite well. But there is still room for improvement in the landings. Corona repeatedly lures the young birds out of the nesting box with food and feeds them all around the monastery. The radius of their excursions grows bigger and bigger. Stella is sitting here in front of her nesting box. Your chicks have probably already hatched. That's why she can go hunting and is no longer dependent on Corona to feed her. There's something fluffy looking out of the window. And another one. And there is another one. And there is a fourth one. May I introduce to you, Skipper, Kowalski, Rico and Private, the result of the romance between Corona and Stella. Now that the little ones are a bit bigger, Stella can concentrate fully on hunting. Now Bob, Kevin and Stuart are turning the tables. They try to steal food from their little half-siblings. As soon as the delivery of food arrives, the three of them follow. Stella's young grow and gradually lose their fluff. The parents now have a lot to do to feed themselves and 7 more beaks in the process. If you want to become big and strong, you have to eat a lot. Now there is a lot going on in the sky above the monastery. What a life, looking around, screaming, cleaning feathers and eating. 3 weeks after hatching, it is time for some wing practice. With 4 chicks in such a tight space, things can get cramped and chaotic. The first flight attempts follow already a few days later. Even after the last young birds have left the nest, their parents continue to feed them. 9 kestrels are now flying in the sky round the monastery. Corona actually doesn't want to feed his young from the relationship with Maris anymore. Bob, Kevin and Stuart should be old enough to hunt themselves. But it is much easier to steal food from their half-siblings than to hunt by themselves. When it comes to eating, the siblings are quite decent, but between the half-siblings one can observe food envy and food theft. Young kestrels also like to do sports to train off their calories. Look at this little one, he is already eating like a big one. He also caught the mouse himself. Granted, with some help of his dad. This was the story of the Monastery Kestrels in 2020. What started with 3 kestrels ended with 9. There were many exciting and beautiful moments. Unfortunately, there were also some dramas. For example, when Mara suddenly disappeared. But Corona was a very successful father and hunter and managed to successfully take care of his patchwork family. I hope that as many as possible can successfully assert themselves in nature and that we can welcome Corona and Stella back to the monastery in 2021 for another chapter of the Monastery Kestrels.